Who seeks recognition? The gentleman from Missouri.
I yield 5 minutes to the gentleman from New York, a Korean War veteran, recipient of the Purple Heart, recipient of the Bronze Star, Mr. Rangel.
Distinguished Dean of the New York delegation is recognized for 5 minutes.
I'd like unanimous consent to revise and extend.
Without objection, so ordered.
I didn't come down here, my colleagues, to talk about General MacArthur. But I guess I knew of him better than anyone in this room. General MacArthur was called out of Korea. He was the commander of the entire armed forces there and left us in the 2nd Infantry Division completely surrounded by the Chinese in November of 1950. The last I remember, he was called back by the Commander-in-Chief, Harry Truman, for defying his direction. So with all due respect to the great late general, this is hardly a time to talk about what soldiers have to do when they defy authority. I want to thank those who've given us an opportunity today to express ourselves on the question of life and death. Very few people have this responsibility. Yet those here in this House, you didn't get elected to do this, but today you have to decide whether or not you want this war to continue and how many people have to die before it is stopped. You hear talk about me supporting a draft, but I challenge anyone to tell me that their feelings about this war in Iraq would not be different if they thought that their loved ones, their family, their community would be placed in harm's way. Whether you're for or against the war, or no matter how you voted, when you see the casualties mounting up, when you visit the hospitals and see young, dedicated people without their skulls, their faces, their legs, their arms, you don't have to know any of these kids to stop crying. But if you have children and grandchildren and your imagination allows you to believe that they would be included in the 21,000 rather. And no matter how many times they go, there has to be a feeling that maybe this is the last chance I have. You have to have a different feeling if you are not dealing with someone else's children. Now, people would say these kids want to fight. I mean, they're different from most kids. They volunteered. They want to do it. It's strange how most of them sought the 40,000, 30,000, or 20,000 bonus, or sought educational benefits, or don't come from families that are fluent in this country. It's strange that you never heard the President of the United States or the Secretary of Defense ever make a plea to the patriotism of America to say, give me your young, your able-bodied, give me your patriots, we got a war to fight. You've never heard that. Oh no, we applaud those who've enlisted. But there's never been a plea out there for America to make sacrifices. A country at war. And the president doesn't ask people to sacrifice anything. Well, my son, the Marine, got out of the Persian Gulf. He's out. And he too enjoyed the GI Bill. But recently, I attended a funeral in my district of a young man who died in Iraq. And I've gone to others, and the family was outside. And they pled with me, please, Congressman, tell them our son was a hero. Please, Congressman Rangel, we thank that you're here. Salute my son, please. And I'd gone to these funerals before. Most of these young men and women were Marines. So I was so used to seeing this blue uniform with the red stripe. And the family actually walked me to the coffin, and my knees buckled. Why? Because as sensitive and as passionate I am about the loss of life, instead of seeing a brown-skinned Dominican in a Marine outfit, I saw a soldier about 20 years old. I ask unanimous consent for 1 minute.
I ask unanimous consent for additional minute.
The gentleman yields one additional minute.
Yes.
I saw a soldier about 20 years old in an Army uniform, not a Marine uniform. And guess what? He looked just like me. I asked my colleagues to try to figure if you were involved as an individual, as a kid, or your family was involved, that this great country and this great Constitution has given you the right in your hand to determine who lives and who dies. You can't make a mistake in supporting this resolution. It's not going to hurt our beloved warriors. It's going to help our country. It's going to help them. And it's going to make us proud one day to be able to say, when asked, what did you do when this was going on in the world? And your Congress was asked. And you would be able to say, there was a resolution. It may not have been a profile in courage, but I supported it, and I'm proud that I did.
Time of the gentleman's expired.